Next, he saw the pseudo teacher seat himself on a log and become lost in thought, with his red cheeks resting on his fists. The woman flung down an axe at his feet, spat angrily, and judging from the expression of her lips, began to scold him. The beggar, irresolutely meaning I told you, pulled a billet means thick piece of wood, towards him, set it up between his feet, and tapped it feebly means weakly, with the axe. The billet wavered and fell down. The beggar again pulled it to him, blew on his freezing hands, and tapped it with his axe cautiously, as if afraid of hitting his overshoe and or cutting off his finger. The stick of wood again fell to the ground. Can you see the image here, picture children? Now, this is called sitting on a log and resting on fists. This is the image, the meaning of that particular sentence. Then he saw the beggar. Here he is who? Sergei. Then Sergei saw the beggar who had lied that he had been a teacher, sitting on a log of wood with his cheeks resting on his fists. Olga threw an axe towards him and scolded him. The beggar pulled the piece of wood towards him, placed it between his feet, and hit it weakly with the axe. The wood shook and fell. He pulled it up again and tried to warm up his hands, but blowing into them again, tapped the wood with the axe. He was very careful that he should not hit on his overshoe, neither cut off his finger. The wood again fell. Sergei's anger had vanished, and now he began to feel little sorry and ashamed of himself for having set a spoiled, drunken, perhaps sick man to work a menial labor in the cold. Here, menial labor stands for an unskilled. Sergei was not angry at the beggar any longer. He, in fact, felt sorry and ashamed of himself to put the poor man at a hard work in such cold weather, despite the fact that he was not fit enough to do it. An hour later, Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. Good, give him half a ruble, said Sergei. If he wants to, he can come back and cut wood on the first day of each month. We can always find work for him. Sergei was glad that the beggar had done the work. He asked Olga to give him half a ruble, and he added that she could tell him to come on the first day of every month to cut wood. They could give him some work. On the first of the month, the waif here stands for homeless person, made his appearance and again earned half a ruble, although he could barely stand on his legs. From that day on, he often appeared in the yard, and every time work was found for him. Now he would shovel snow, put the woodshed in order, beat the dust out of rugs and mattresses. Every time he received from 20 to 40 kopecks, and once even a pair of old trousers were sent out to him. The beggar turned up on the first of every month and got half a ruble, although he was heavily drunk and could not even stand on his feet. He went there for work often. He would do various jobs like shoveling the snow. Shoveling the snow, here the image shows this is the action of shoveling the snow, children. Set the wood in the shed. This is the image shows that shedding the means setting the wood in the shed. Beat the rugs to remove the dust, and he earned 20 to 40 kopecks for it. Once Sergei gave him a pair of trousers to remember the previous day where he used to earn half a ruble a month. Now here he started gradually earning 20 to 40 kopecks for it. Once Sergei gave him a pair of trousers too. When Sergei moved into another house, to he hired in the packing and hauling of the furniture. This time the waif was sober, gloomy, and silent. He hardly touched the furniture and walked behind the wagons, hanging his head, not even making a pretense of appearing busy. He only shivered in the cold and became embarrassed when the carters jeered at him for his idleness, his feebleness, and his tattered fancy overcoat. After the moving was over, Sergei sent for him. Here, hauling means transporting. He hired the beggar to help him in the packing and hauling. Pretends to show something which actually does not exist. Jeered, made fun of him. Now, here, Sergei shifted to another house and hired the beggar to help in moving the articles like furniture. Now, the man was under the influence of alcohol. He was not under the influence of alcohol. He was sad and remained quiet. He hardly took part in the moving of furniture. He simply walked behind the vans with his head hanging low and did not even pretend to be busy. He shivered due to cold weather and seemed embarrassed when other workers made fun of him for being idle, weak, and laughed at his torn overcoat. Can you see the image here, picture children? The left hand side. Dearies, this is the picture of a person who is very sober, gloomy, and silent. When the work was completed, Sergei called the beggar. Well, I'm happy that my words have taken effect, he said, handing him a ruble. Here is for your pains. You see, you're sober and have no objection to work. What is your name? Now, here, Sergei said that he was very happy to see the change in the beggar due to his scoldings. He gave him a ruble for his labor and asked him his name, as he had left drinking and was willing to work too. Lushkov. Well, Lushkov, I can now offer you some other cleaner employment. Can you write? I can. Then take this letter to a friend of mine tomorrow and you will be given some copying to do. Work hard, don't drink, and remember what I have said to you. Goodbye. Sergei handed him a letter to be delivered to a friend of his and he would give him copying work to Lushkov. He instructed him to work hard and then they parted. Pleased at having put a man on the right path, Sergei tapped Lushkov kindly on the shoulder and even gave him his hand at parting. Lushkov took the letter and from that day forth came no more to the yard for work. Pleased at putting the person at the right path means he was very much satisfied that he has fixed somebody in the right path. And he tapped Lushkov at his back on the shoulder and gave hand. We shake hand while we depart. That like that. He gave his hand at parting. 2 years went by. Then one evening, as Sergei was standing at the ticket window of a theater, paying for a seat, he noticed a little man beside him with a coat collar of curly fur and a worn sealskin cap. This little individual timidly asked the ticket seller for a seat in the gallery and paid for it in copper coins. 2 years passed. Then one evening, Sergei was standing at the ticket window of a theater paying for a seat. To his side of him, there stood a little man with a coat collar of curly fur and a worn seal skin cap. And he was asking the ticket counter person in a shy and a nervous way to give him a seat in the gallery and paid what copper coins he paid. Lashkov, is that you? Cried Sergei, recognizing in the little man his former wood chopper. How are you? What are you doing? How is everything with you? Means he immediately, as soon as he saw Lashkov standing beside him with a surprising voice, Lashkov, is that you? And then he started about his whereabouts. All right, I'm a notary now and I'm paid 35 rubles a month. Notary, a person, an authorized person to perform certain legal formalities, especially to draw up certification of contracts, deeds, and other documents which is used in other jurisdictions. Thank heaven, that's fine. I am delighted for your sake. I'm very, very glad, Lashkov. You see, you're my godson. In a sense, I gave you a push along the right path, you know. Do you remember what a roasting I gave you? Huh? I nearly had you sinking into the ground at my feet that day. Thank you, old man, for not forgetting my words. Now, here, Sergei said that thanks to heaven, that's fine. I'm glad. You know, you are my godson. Godson is a boy or a man whom one promised to bring up. Roasting here, literally not roasting children. Kids, here, roasting means scolding. Sergei was glad and thanked God for reforming the beggar. He said that he considered Lashkov to be his godson because it was due to his scolding only he was a changed man. That day, the beggar had been at his feet asking for mercy. Remember the first day when he told lies to this person, Sergei, that he was a student, not a school teacher. And then finally, when Sergei said that he will catch hold of him and hand him over to the police, then he started having begging at his feet for mercy. So he recalled all this. He was glad that Lashkov did not forget his words. Thank you too, said Lashkov. If I hadn't come to you, then I might still have been calling myself a teacher or a student till this day. Yes, by flying to your protection, I dragged myself out of a pit. I'm very glad indeed. Thank you for your kind words and deeds. I'm very grateful to you and to your cook. God bless that good and noble woman. You spoke finely then, and I shall be indebted to you to my dying day. But strictly speaking, it was your cook Olga who saved me. How is that? He asked. Now, here, Lashkov thanked him and said if he had not met Sergei that day, he would still be lying and begging. He came out of the pit with the help of Sergei and was glad for his help. But, he said, he thanked Sergei for his kindness. He was grateful to the cook. He said he was grateful to the cook. She was a noble woman. Although Sergei had been kind to him, it was Olga who saved him and reformed him. Now, Sergei had a query. How is that? Now, sir, the Lashkov starts. Mr. Lashkov says, when I used to come to your house to chop wood, she used to begin, oh, you sot. Sot means, SOT sot means a habitual drunkard. Oh, you sot, you. Oh, you miserable creature. There's nothing for you but rain. And then she would sit down opposite me and grow sad, look into my face and weep. Then again she starts, oh, you unlucky man, there is no pleasure for you in this world, and there will be none in the world to come. You drunkard, you will burn in hell. Oh, you unhappy one. And so she would carry on, in that strain. I can't tell you how much misery she suffered, how many tears she shed for my sake. But the chief thing was she used to chop the wood for me. Do you know, sir, that I did not chop one single stick of wood for you? She did it all. Why this saved me, why I changed, why I stopped drinking at the sight of her, I cannot explain. I only know that owing to her words and noble deeds, a change took place in my heart. She set me right, and I shall never forget it. However, it is time to go now. There goes the bell. Lashkov bowed and departed to the gallery. Lashkov continued that when he would visit the place to chop wood, Olga would scold him like anything. She would feel sad for him and she wept. She felt very sad for him and would chop all the wood for him. Though she felt very sad, she used to scold him, but on the contrary, she used to chop the wood for him and keep ready. Her behavior changed him. Her attitude towards him has motivated him to reform himself. Just then the bell rang of the theatre. Lashkov bowed to Sergei and left for the gallery of the theatre. Now, this particular story gives you a beautiful message, children. How is the story? Is it nice? Very well done, right? The story is too interesting. Now, this story gives us a message that it is through counseling and benevolence means kindness, that a wayward can see his errors and mend his life. Wayward here is a stubborn person. Sergei helped Lashkov as he believes that honest labor can reform a person. Olga, on the other hand, helps Lashkov without making demands on him. She chides him but also helps him to survive. Her humane approach proves more effective as it forces Lashkov to realize his mistakes and reform himself. Thank you, my dear children. God bless you all, my dearies. Stay safe.